fm.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Early break.
And I would race to something warm, like just a burger or something that would warm my
A burger. Hold it, I'm having a break for someone give me a cheeseburger.
Well, you're a Dairy Queen.
Give me a cheeseburger. Burger me.
The Slurpees I got were red raspberry from Dairy Queen, and usually you can get something warm there. Fries, just give me your fries, quick.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, this is What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Chancellor Brewington, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
That's right. It is What's Brewing here with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket. I am Jake Bakoven in studio with Chancellor. Chancellor, what's brewing today?
Man, a whole bunch is brewing. I hope a whole bunch is brewing with you too, man. I had a basketball game last night. I finally got my shot back, and it feels good. But other than that, I mean, life is great, full of energy, full of life. I'm super grateful to be on here, to have this platform, to be able to speak my mind and speak about what's going on, Bach. How you doing, man?
Oh, not too bad. I also was able to get on the basketball court last night, and I didn't shoot too much, but we still got a win, so you feel pretty good about that. How's your you've talked about before, I think a little bit on air. How's your shot been doing this year?
Yeah, I started off the year, I wanted to shoot around, I think, what I say, 40%?
45%.
45,
yeah.
That's what I said, 45?
Yeah, that was the goal.
Yeah, I mean, last night I shot like 6 for 12. Or,
Hey,
I was like probably like 6 for 12 or 5 for 10, one of those. But the last like 3 weeks have been rough.
Yeah.
I hit a slump. I hit a Christmas break slump, and I finally broke out of it. And I think it's fun though, because I was, after football, you trying to, after playing, sports, like, seriously, you get in like a league like that with refs, and all of a sudden, like, you don't know how to approach it. And I think I just had to just find the rhythm and just say, hey, like, this is how I approach sports. I'm an all-in type of guy, and I just had to let it loose, and not try to be the cool guy. And
Yeah.
I'm like I don't even know. I'm just kind of like more a predator, more so than the calm dude who's like, always laughing and joking and stuff. That's always how I've kind of been. So I had to do it with the basketball league. I had to.
You turned on the serious face. Did you have much thought about anything after playing collegiately for Nebraska, like Arena League or anything like that?
Yeah. There was definitely some opportunities early. But it's just kind of I always call it like just divine knows, like there was definitely opportunities. And maybe if I would took advantage of them or just said yes to some, they would have, I probably would still be playing right now. But I was kind of in a limbo state of really just wanting to play in the NFL, and every CFL and all the other stuff I was saying no to out the gate. And then, it came back around later on. But yeah, I mean, that whole process, I just said it in 2 sentences, but it was, one of the harder phases of my life, because, it's the one chapter ends, which was really your whole life, and then you have to re-find yourself. And so, yeah, it was a trying journey, but it was rewarding. It was rewarding to go through that the right way and come out of it the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I got to ask you about kind of the news of the day, which is very interesting on a couple different levels, is that Quinn Ewers has decided to go to the NFL.
Did he really?
Yeah.
There we go.
There was a lot of thought about maybe he could make more money, and it kind of depends on where he'd get picked in the NFL if he decided to return to play college football. The other part of it is, though, that Texas, or, at least seemingly at some point, was going to have to get Arch Manning a shot there. And so maybe there was a feeling of him kind of being pushed out with the Longhorns, despite all the success that he had. You would figure USC, Georgia, Ohio State, these type of teams would be interested in him if he did hit the portal, and would make it a very interesting offer, as opposed to what the NFL could bring. And that's where we're at. And that's part of the conversation, is that some of those fifth, sixth, fourth rounders, maybe even probably more fifth, sixth, seventh round quarterbacks, might be making more money in college football than they do in the NFL, at least, in your initial for that year. But Quinn Ewers decides to bet on himself and go and give it a shot. For what it's worth, it's tough to tell. Like last year, we had quarterbacks taken in the first round, and then you had this long wait till the fifth round, I believe, when Spencer Rattler was taken. And I think you might have a similar gap here. You've got Cam Ward up there. You've obviously got Shedeur Sanders up there as your top, not just first round quarterbacks, but probably top 10 picks. And then I just don't know if there's anybody, and we'll see. Sometimes there's a surprise move up the draft process. But then you're kind of getting into that talk of the like a Drew Aller who decided to return to Penn State, or even the quarterbacks that'll be playing in the championships, the Will Howards, the Riley Leonards. Jalen Milroe is kind of seen as that third guy that might be picked earlier than those others. But Quinn Ewers decides to bet on himself and go for the NFL. What are your thoughts there?
Well, I'm looking, this isn't a great judgment, but just looking at offensively, passing wise, like top guys, just looking at pure numbers. Quinn Ewers 3,400 yards. That's puts him at 14. He's actually right below Carson Beck. And we've had extensive talks about the similarities between Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers, just in career and really in the decision making and the thought process of staying and leaving. Same coin. They choose two different sides, right? So obviously Beck chooses to go to Miami. Quinn Ewers now decides to go to the league. When I look at this, I'm gonna throw some names out, and you say, is he better than this guy or no? Kyle McCord.
Oof, that's a tough one. Probably yes.
Is it Quinn Ewers?
For the
Yes?
NFL level,
You'll
yeah.
take.
I mean, the coin flip. It's close.
Let's go Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
You'll take Quinn Ewers?
Yeah.
Okay. Dylan Gabriel.
Are we talking about for the next level?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will Howard.
I would say yes.
Okay. Jalen Milroe.
I would say. I mean, Jalen's really struggled down the stretch. The last that I've seen him, at least, I would say I would probably. I mean this is where it gets tough to like your own grading of it. He might be one of the first picks that I'd have outside of your obvious first round picks.
Shedeur and Cam.
Cam, yeah. So I mean, I'd probably take him over Milroe.
Okay. Now, what do you think is going to happen?
I think Milroe will probably be the third quarterback taken.
You think?
Maybe. I mean, maybe it'll be Quinn.
I don't know. I mean, it's pure. I think it's at this point in the stage, it's not. I don't think anyone really knows because, when you look at the past few years, I feel as if the first round has kind of been, Bryce Young is getting taken. These guys are getting taken, right? And with this one, it's like you have two guys. You got two guys undeniable. Cam Ward, I mean, can make every throw on the football field, makes it look effortless, has some, questionable decisions, but he was playing, video game mode out there at Miami, right? He was doing whatever, he was getting to whatever he wanted to. He was checking to exactly what he wanted. It was literally video game mode. And then Shedeur, same thing. I mean, arm talent through the roof. I would say the one thing about Cam Ward is his deep ball is, lower arm angle, kind of floats it a little bit. Thing with Shedeur, he kind of has that higher arm angle, higher elbow, I would say. So the deep ball is like he really has some real kick and accuracy to him. So obviously, both, Cam Ward moves a little bit better in the pocket. Shedeur still moves good, but a little bit stiffer. And, you can tic-tac, but these are two talents where turn on the tape. I don't care if Shedeur's probably not going to run a 40. Cam Ward's probably not going to run a 40. doesn't need to. I mean, these guys they're cream of the crop, right? I wouldn't say, I don't know if generational talent is the word, but I mean, you look at Caleb Williams, you turn on the tape, those guys are doing the same things, right? So those two are slotted in. And then it gets interesting because someone could easily go through the draft process and see, something they like in Kyle McCord and say,
Yeah.
hey, I think, especially a team, trying to think of a team, with a quarterback, around that 7-8 year mark, need a backup, maybe, groom him with a vet, stuff like that. McCord might be your guy for some teams, or Jackson Dart might be your guy. Or Will Howard might be your guy, right? I could see a lot of quarterbacks falling after these two. I think the question mark for Milroe is going to be, how much are you thoughtful in your decision making? Are you just doing stuff to do stuff, right? Like, why are you forcing some of these throws? I think that's going to be the question mark. I believe if you're looking at his stats, Jalen Milroe, I believe he threw what, 20? Is that right? Yeah, he threw 11 picks. But if you look at the 11 picks, it was in games where it was in moments where they really needed him. And it was like just really costly errors. Like, I'm talking like just, just football 101 type of stuff, right? You forcing it into coverage, especially in the red zone where you need to capitalize on a drive. So, the Milroe situation, I mean, some people like him, some people don't. Me personally, I understand the skill set, but I think it might be the same situation as we saw with Richardson, with the Colts. Was Anthony Richardson, coming out of Florida, arm talent through the roof, could throw 80 yards. I would say he only really played one good year of football there. Obviously runs a 4.5 or 4.4. Can throw the ball like 75 miles per hour, does all the things, hits the top of the dome or the indoor facility in his pro day, just shocks the world there, gets picked first round. But, you turn on the tape now, it's the same mistakes he was making in college, although, dealt with some injuries and stuff. I would say Milroe, I don't know. I would say he's a little bit more advanced as a thrower, as a passer, as a decision maker as well. But I still feel as if some teams will feel as if Quinn Ewers is a better option than Jalen Milroe or Kyle McCord or Jackson Dart. So this will be interesting, especially, you get probably past that like pick 15, we can get into the late first round. The decisions that those teams, choose to make will be interesting to see, where they really think Quinn Ewers is in this process.
Yeah, and Milroe, for what it's worth, it would be the kind of the scrambler of this year's group. So if that's what you want, obviously in your NFL quarterback, or maybe even as a backup, I mean that could
go to the Ravens.
Yeah,
that would be. I mean,
could be something like that. As I look at CBS's kind of mock draft and where they have people charted as their kind of player rankings, they've got Cam Ward as number 4 overall, Shedeur Sanders at number 10. And then you kind of get that bump for Jalen Milroe all the way down to 32, which again would be kind of back into the first round, start of the second round. And then Quinn Ewers at 52, which would kind of be mid-second round. And then you get mid to late second round. Then Jackson Dart's at 82, Kyle McCord at 90, Curtis Rourke of Indiana 105, Riley Leonard 106, and Will Howard 127. So the championship quarterbacks, making the.
Do they have Shuck on there anywhere?
I do not see him. That's all that they've got graded out.
All right,
as draftable grades here.
Yeah, that'll be fun, and a lot of those guys will be competing in the Senior Bowl, right? So, that will be a great opportunity to showcase, and those games are always fun to watch, right? You always get to see, obviously limited snaps. You don't get to see everything, but you do get to see, talent level, and some things just jump off, and maybe it's lack of exposure for some guys that, all of a sudden you're like, wait, this dude, can do this, has this type of skill set. But no, it will be awesome to see the Senior Bowl and what all these guys do. And when Combine comes around, I believe in usually late February, Because all those guys are training right now, and the training is vigorous. It's straining. It's long days. Especially like the first week. So the first, I have to tell you a story. So first week of, you train for your pro day, train for combine, you run your first 40s, right? So you run your first 40s, you do your verticals, you do your broad jumps at your facility, right? And so they call it, I won't use the actual word, but they basically say like it's like depression week, because
Huh.
because you get your first 40, right? And everyone expects to run, 4 4s out the gate and 4 5s and whatever your slide at, and to jump, these crazy numbers.
Yeah.
And, you're coming off a football season, your running form's trash. You're tired, your body's beat down, all these different things. So your numbers are terrible. So I remember I ended up running, I think it was 4.58 at pro day. My first run was like 4.71. And I was like, dude, like I'm slow, like this is terrible. And then they were like, oh, like the dude last year ran a 4.6 at his pro day, and his first run was 4.9. And this was like a slot receiver, right?
Yeah.
He got picked up somewhere, da da da. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But this is what those guys are going through. I mean, it's January 15th. These guys probably start training right after Christmas, depending on bowl game situation. But it will be, it's a fun time. It's a fun time, and it's a stressful time. So if you know anyone who's training for pro day and training for a combine, send them a text and say, I hope everything's doing good, because it's serious. It's the same stuff every day. It's the same stuff. It's, you literally go through your stances every day. You go through your prep, same food every day. You go through same stretches every day, same mobility every day, same verbiage, seeing the same people every day, training with the same guys, and some of them you probably don't like, right? You probably played against them, and what I'm saying, like,
Oh, yeah.
So the process is interesting, and I learned a lot from it. But yeah, those, especially now, think about it. Now you got to go play a bowl game, or a senior bowl, or
Yeah.
NFL PA bowl, or whatever it is. You go play that, then you got to go right back to training. So you also have to manage the injuries from last year, right? So do you have a sprained ankle? Do you have a rotator cuff? Do you have a broken wrist? Whatever it is, manage those. And how can I say this? You don't want to make them worse, right? Through your training, get ready for the bowl game, come back, start, get right back on your training regimen, get ready for a combine, come back, and then go pro day, come back, get ready for OTAs, come back, and then now you're in rookie mini camp, come back, OTAs, come back for a couple days, or just stay out there, and then training camp. So I mean, these guys have their stuff ready for them, and it's a fun time. So I hope all those guys are doing good, and mentally doing fantastic too.
How was pro day as far as like nervous? Did the nerves compare to game day, or how would you say that? Just kind of leading up to that day, and then when it actually happens, how nervous are you going into that?
Yeah, for me, it was super nerve-wracking, because that wasn't my game. Like, it was more so like, you're training all these things for 2 runs. You get 2 40-yard runs. You get 2 5 or 1 5 10. Oh no, 2 5 10 5s, 1 L drill, and then a couple vertical jumps, right? And like, your bench, and you run some routes. Like, so you have like a 12 or 16 week camp just for like literally all together. That's like, 60 seconds? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then the routes, of course, like 10 minutes, but 15 minutes. But it's really hyped up more than, like, at the end of the day, like, the scouts know if they want you or not, right? But it's really hyped up. And I think one thing, if I was to go back, obviously I don't like to do this, but if I was to go back, I would just mentally just say, like, it's not that, it's not what you're making it to be.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you can take yourself out your shoes and be like, man, I'm just running, just like I've been doing my whole life. So yeah, it's definitely stressful though.
Do they have somewhere at the facility you can run and like test your 40 throughout your career?
Yeah, they do. They do have them. But I guess the only part is like, when is your body fresh enough to like get a real good number?
Your best time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. All right. Well, we'll talk more about that. A very interesting look inside getting in ready for a pro day. We'll talk a lot more college football and sports in general coming up next year on What's Brewing. Chancellor Brewington, excuse me, on 93.7 The Ticket.
Make the 2025 deer season your best yet. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo Friday, January 17th through Sunday, January 19th. Check out the hunting seminars, browse the hunting and outdoor exhibits, sign up for the 360 blind giveaway, compete in the Big Buck and Monster Shed contest, try the 3D shoot and more. Get tickets at the door. The Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 17th through the 19th at the Sand Hills Global Event Center. 84th and Havelock in Lincoln, presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate.
Inventory in Lincoln is extremely low. Current lead times for construction are running anywhere from 7 to 9 months. Having some homes that are available now is really great for our community.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
Finding affordable home in East Lincoln is getting very difficult to do, especially in a new construction. We have homes available just on the west side of Hillcrest Country Club. Prices start just over $400,000. Big ranches, 3-stall garages. Our designer has selected incredible finishes that will amaze you. To get a new construction home on that side of town for just over $400,000 is a fantastic buy.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Patriot Plumbing at 402-464-7411 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-464-7411.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, 4-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most. For all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
We are back on What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington here and 93.7. The Ticket at 1040 O Street is where we're located. Come on down, say hi to us, grab a cup of coffee from the mill. But I have Jake Bachman in studio alongside Chancellor. And what do we have brewing here for segment number 2? Chancellor, I've got a few questions I could throw at you, but let's see if you got anything on your mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Throw some questions. Throw some questions at the kid.
Well, I did want to see CBS Sports dropped its way too early top 25 next year. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this. We've got Texas at number 1. And maybe this will change. Quinn Ewers has left for the NFL, but I think that was already built in because they thought he was going to leave somewhere else. Ohio State, number 2, Georgia, 3, Oregon, 4, Notre Dame, 5. Of course, the interesting part, if you start to look around the Big Ten, they've got 7 Big Ten teams ultimately ranked, to include number 19. They've got Indiana. Number 20, they have Illinois. Number 21, they have Michigan. And at number 23, for the way too early top 25 poll, according to CBS Sports, they've got Nebraska.
Do they really?
Yeah. What do you think about top 25 preseason? Maybe this is just one, the CBS Sports. Maybe they gaffed and we won't see Nebraska near. But I think this is a kind of the expectations you'll see upon next season.
Do you have the full list?
I have. I've got 1 through 10, and then the Big Ten teams. But I can go through. I can pull it up.
I'm trying to see. Okay, so where would be so obviously a team like Tennessee would be in there.
Yeah.
South Carolina would be in there. If South Carolina's not in there and Nebraska's in there, that'd be bad.
Yeah, I'm sure they are because they got their quarterback returning.
Yeah, A&M would be in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
ASU has to be in there, right?
Yeah, I think they were close to, if my memory serves me, close to 17th or something.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
they do lose Scatterboot.
Yeah, they do lose Scatterboot. Okay, let's take that into consideration. Miami. Where's Miami?
Miami's at number 9.
Okay.
They've got Alabama number 8.
Bama 8?
Yeah.
I mean, Milroe's gone. What's the
No.
Penn State's
got a lot returning. They've got them at 7th.
Okay.
They expect a big, maybe a big jump, or maybe just a big. They got Clemson at 6th.
Clemson at 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Quarterback's coming back. I don't really get that one all the way. I mean, SMU,
they've got 11. So now I've got it pulled it up here.
Okay.
Arizona State, they have at 13. So I can just run through it again. Texas, number 1. Ohio State, number 2. Georgia, 3. Oregon, 4. Notre Dame, 5. Then we go Clemson, Penn State, Alabama, Miami, and LSU to round out the top 10. Then 11 through 15 would be SMU, South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, and Arizona State. 16, you got Kansas State. 17, Ole Miss. 18, A&M. 19, Indiana 20th is Illinois. And then 21 through 25 would go Michigan, Auburn, Nebraska, Texas Tech, UNLV.
Who made this list?
This is CBS
This
Sports.
is Joe Klatt?
No, Joe Klatt does not.
It's not Joe Klatt. Okay, I
Joe
mean,
Klatt loves Nebraska.
that's what I'm
so I see why you
saying.
say that, yeah.
Somebody must have loved Nebraska. You win the Pinstripe Bowl, maybe. I mean, but this is 6-6 regular season team slide in. So obviously, the reason why would have to be is that they believe Riley's going to take a big jump, and adding in a bunch of receivers, Dane Key, Nazia Hunter, bring in what's his face back, Ja'Cory Barney, bringing in Pritchett at right tackle or left tackle, whichever one, and hopefully bringing in that New Mexico State tackle. I mean, maybe. Yeah, what do you, if non-biased, like we're not in Lincoln, Nebraska, not less than a mile away from the facility, what is your reaction to this?
Well, I think it's a little bit surprising to see them as high. Auburn, for what it's worth, which is ranked 22nd, one ahead of Nebraska, had 5 wins this year. So it's not uncommon to believe in a bounce back year, or that the move is happening. I think there are things that line up well for Nebraska, right? I mean, one is it's Matt Rule's 3rd year, and if you have been paying attention to Matt Rule's history, this is when he breaks out. So there might be somewhat of a feeling that that's going to happen. It also aligns with Dylan Raiola now moving, like you said, from freshman to sophomore year, usually your biggest jump. And then Nebraska has a top 6 team in the portal, which we've seen this year and over the last couple of years can make a big difference. So there's some signs there. And then the other thing is Nebraska's schedule. Of those 7 Big Ten teams, Nebraska that are in this preseason top 25, Nebraska only has to play 2 of them in Michigan and Penn State. So there are a lot of reasons to believe that Nebraska should take that step next year. Now, we've done this before to the point of heartbreak for Nebraska fans.
Oh, boy.
So you're almost paralysis by analysis there. But from the outside, I think there are reasons to believe Nebraska should take a step.
Yeah, for sure. I would. The tough part for me is I'm like a non-biased guy. Although I play at Nebraska, I'm still non-biased because now think about the teams that are on the cusp, like 25 through 33 or 35. Like, you can make an argument, I guarantee, for all those teams and say, even UNLV, that they should be ahead of Nebraska, or a team like, I'm trying to think of a SEC, like a Vanderbilt, or, teams like that are right outside of it. And even Michigan being up there is, kind of surprising. I mean, I guess you factor in a bowl win a little bit.
They beat Ohio State and Alabama there at the end.
Yeah, they did. Maybe that's, maybe that's enough, and you're bringing in, possibly, that new quarterback, and, that would be a whole new ordeal right there. I like it. I like it. I personally think Nebraska is going to do great things next year. I don't know if what my argument is, I don't think last year was enough to put them in top 25.
Yeah.
Right. And I know, that might be, a given because, I would say the promising attributes and skill of Raiola, and maybe the transfer portal additions, seeing kind of the landscape of the league and of college football, and kind of seeing, okay, Kurt Cinetti brings in guys, SMU brings in a bunch of transfers, well-rounded guys. And this is what happened last year. You factor that into, above average football team. Nebraska just couldn't get it done in a couple close games. You bring them in. I remember going into 2021 year, that roster was one of the more talented rosters Nebraska's ever had in the last, I would say, 10 years, right?
Sure, yeah.
And they had us slotted in playing in the Rose Bowl. And so, obviously, you look at the year before. I wasn't there the year before, but 2020, I think they had opportunity to go to a bowl game, right? And it was.
They decided not to.
Yeah,
it was. They didn't have a winning record.
Oh, so they didn't. Okay.
No, it was quite a messy year. It was 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, would that season, of course, warrant them to be a Rose Bowl contender?
Probably not. No.
Right. So it's all potential. In that team, when you look back on the team, that team was like incredible talent-wise. It just we couldn't get it done. So,
Yeah.
I mean, talent doesn't mean a whole bunch if you can't get it done. But, yeah,
Well, I got to ask you this because it's interesting when I kind of bring this up to the captain or Terrell. They feel like they don't like that because they feel like Nebraska should have to earn that top 25 ranking. But I mean, Nebraska was in the top 25 this year briefly. I don't know if being preseason top 25, do you think that they would feel like they've arrived or anything, or do you think after having already been in the top 25 this year and finishing at 7-6? Like, it's just a number next to your name right now.
Yeah, I think getting acclimated to it a little bit last year was good for him, and to have that number next to him, and then at some point, have it, quote unquote, taken away and whatever you want to call it, and having the opportunity of really becoming a top 10 team in front of him, and just not quite able to capitalize, in crucial moments. But I think just seeing that builds confidence. So I like the list, and I think the guys, culture wise, and the way Rule runs things, I think he won't let that go to their heads. But I think that would be good for him to understand, like, okay, people around the country, think highly of us, and honestly, nobody else should affect the way you look at yourself, of course. So you should already think highly of yourself regardless, but it's also good to, get some acknowledgement, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun to have a year with high expectations once again for Nebraska next season. We'll see how they respond. We got one final segment here on What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington. We'll do it next on 93.7 The Ticket.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to hear their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Travis with Midwest Bank, now with 2 branches conveniently serving Lincoln and 8 other locations across Nebraska. We're here to help you with any of your needs. From opening a checking account to buying a home or financing your business, our staff is here for you. Stop in and you might see Shin Daddy himself. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank, member FDIC.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make the 2025 deer season your best yet. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo Friday, January 17th through Sunday, January 19th. Check out the hunting seminars, browse the hunting and outdoor exhibits, sign up for the 360 blind giveaway, Compete in the Big Buck and Monster Shed contest. Try the 3D shoot and more. Get tickets at the door. The Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 17th through the 19th at the Sandhills Global Event Center. 84th and Havelock in Lincoln. Presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
We are back in What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington here on 93.7 The Ticket. Just wanted to update those folks that are out there looking at the transfer portal, as Nebraska had some big-time targets as of late to include Shiaz Pete, the offensive tackle from New Mexico State, Maurice Westmoreland, the defensive end from UTEP. Both those options still out there, but one that was crystal ball to Nebraska that is no longer going to be the case is Houston wide receiver Jonah Wilson. He ended up choosing to go to Texas A&M. Nebraska does not get so Trev Alberts strikes again. Maybe no, I don't know. Highly doubt Trev had anything to do with it. But Wilson had appeared in 7 games with Houston, catching 9 passes for 58 yards during his redshirt freshman campaign. But he was certainly a guy that they were hoping for as a potential in getting better. Now Texas A&M will take their swing. Now Nebraska obviously has done well in the transfer portal, specifically at wide receiver with Dane Key and Neziah Hunter specifically, but also being able to bring Key's teammate and Hardly Gilmore as well. So I don't think you sound the alarms by missing out on one guy here, the transfer Jonah Wilson from Houston, but it is notable. I think a lot of people thought that he would be included in Nebraska's class.
Yeah, I think the number one thing I'm seeing from Holgrenson is that he wants receivers. He wants guys who can go get it, and that it seems like he wants like this 4 to 6 amount of receivers who can really play. So if I look at the receiver room right now, you got Alex Bullock still, you got Bonner, right? And Bonner is a guy where he's, you can slot him in. You can put him in the slot, of course, but you can put him here, right? Like he can play a little tight end too, right? So he's kind of your unicorn there. And then you got Neziah Hunter and Dane Key. Those are probably going to be your outside guys. Then Ja'Cory Barney, you can mix him in. And so I think, adding another guy for when you go 10 personnel, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for this offense to have 4 receivers out there, and for them to, them to allow Dylan Raiola to go through his reads, make his checks, and do all the things he wants to do. And I think that's going to allow him, and obviously getting a left tackle and, the New Mexico guy would allow, you to do that a little bit more, to do it more confidently. but yeah, no, I would think that after, during spring we would add another receiver, and the harsh reality is that not only are you bringing guys in, there's probably going to be a couple guys that you're probably depending on right now that are going to leave, right? And that's just the nature of the game. Maybe a receiver leaves that was already here. Maybe Bonner. I'm not speaking it out, but maybe like a Bonner leaves, like for example, like he leaves, so you got to replace him with somebody, right? And that's going to happen offensive or defensively. But to be honest, I think the bulk of it is out the way, of course. But when you add in transfers, we talked about this. When you add in transfers, the guys already there are kind of going to get the idea of what the depth is going to be during spring, right? And so, if you're stacked, at the very, 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 very bottom of the depth, right? Maybe you leave, maybe you try to get out of there, and so there's more opportunity to bring in new guys and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And bringing up Ja'Cory Barney, I want to ask you too, what are your expectations for him going into year two? Of course, Barney had some big time flashy plays for Nebraska, 55 receptions, 447 yards in the air. Surprisingly, did not have a touchdown in the air, but he did on 3 of his 10 carries for 130 yards, 3 touchdowns there. We also know he splashed in the return game. And I think naturally we kind of think, especially with Dylan getting better, maybe if you get those tackles and then, Key and Hunter outside could definitely help. But you think there could be almost a situation where he might get less touches because they relied on him so much that his yards per reception wasn't very high. It was like 8 yards per reception because they were dinking it to him, hoping that they could break it up, quite a bit. So what do you kind of see from Barney here with all these moving pieces going into his sophomore year?
Yeah, I think he's more than what we've shown or what he's shown. I think he's a real polished. I think he can be a polished receiver. I think he's going to have to take a jump though. I think he's going to have to earn the trust of Raiola and the coaches that he can beat man. He can beat press, not only on the inside but the outside, and he can a little bit more like route discipline. Just sharper angles, stuff like that, not fading things out. But I think we've only seen a glimpse of what he can really do. And I think obviously we talk about that jump from freshman to sophomore year. If he takes it and the coaches allow his role to expand, and obviously that goes with growth within him. You could make a really dynamic offense, I would say, around him and with him, right? Because there's some times where you could use him in the running game as a decoy, and we did that a lot of times this year. But as the more effective he becomes in his own role, and as a receiver, it's going to just help out the run game. It's going to help out Raul. It's going to help out other receivers. It's going to help out the tight end in the passing game. Like it's going to help out the whole offense. So for him he's probably like one of my number one guys that needs to take a big jump this year.
Well, he's interesting too because he's listed 165, 170.
Yeah, gotta get that weight up.
He did get tattooed quite a bit, but the big thing he brings to the table is speed. So are you risking, if you're adding 10 pounds on him, are you risking losing some speed?
No.
Not
If you're
the right way.
Yeah, if you're sitting on the couch eating McDonald's all day, then yeah. But if you're working out, training, and running every day like they are, add on 10 pounds, he ain't gonna lose nothing. He gonna get faster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be fun to see.
Yeah.
Faster Ja'Cory Barney, as fast as he already is. All right, that'll wrap it up for What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington today. Thanks to Chancellor for jumping in here and dropping some of that knowledge. Coming up next year is On the Block with Strick and Austin. So stay tuned.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Koppel, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at koppelcars.com to get true low country overhead in action. 12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Koppel. So please stop on in or visit us at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R. Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one.